Right, you're watching TVC Breakfast. It's time for us to see what the headlines are across Nigeria, and let's see what newspapers are saying. So, of course, my co-hosts are here, Omatseye as well as Kemi Fola-Adeyemo, and we'll be looking at what the headlines are this morning. So let me run through, and then we'll dig into what the papers are saying. Leadership newspaper is where we start from this morning. Leadership says that PDP presidential primary, how Tambuwal's withdrawal swung 182 Northwest votes for Atiku. How Tambuwal's withdrawal swung 182 Northwest votes for Atiku. That's what leadership says. From there, let's go to This Nigeria. This Nigeria says PDP presidential primary, the grand plot against Wike, right, and intrigues that produced Atiku as candidate, and last-minute maneuvers by party northern elders, southern governors. Okay, that's what This Nigeria has. From there, let's go to the Punch newspaper. The Punch focuses on Atiku's candidacy, and it says pro-zoning forces angry, slam PDP, Tambuwal, and Tambuwal's withdrawal dubious. PDP's primary inequitable. That's what Pandef and others are saying. Then delegates' inducement with money forced Tambuwal to step down. Governor's aide is revealing this. Okay. From there, let's go to Nigerian News Direct. 2023 presidency, Ohanese's chieftain, Southern Middle Belt leaders reject Atiku's emergence. Call for rejection of Northern presidential candidates. All right, that's what it's on the News Direct. Blueprint is next, and it says 2023 presidential ticket, Atiku's emergence as PDP candidate unsettles APC. Okay, and there are multiple writers there explaining part of it. Party reschedules convention to June 6th, yet to screen aspirants. That's the APC. Tinubu better positioned to give Atiku a good fight. Party sources saying this. Oshibajo well equipped to confront the ex-VP, identify the right leader. Zoning slots to northeast, only way to tackle ex-VP. Ojikalo is saying this. All right. From this, let's go to Daily Trust. It is also focusing on the 2023 presidency. APC weighs options as Atiku shops for running mate. Southwest chieftains warn against Jonathan's candidature, and ex-VP's camp considers Okowa Udom, and the PDP elders make case for Wike. All right, all that on the front page of Daily Trust. Okay, we'll certainly talk about all of these. The Nation newspaper is next. Presidency is saying that Buhari not part of plot to draft Jonathan into race. As ex-president, not qualified to be our standard bearer, says National Working Committee member. Okay, these are all political opinions there. That's the Nation newspaper. Abuja Enquirer says the FCT primaries, aspirants spit fire over minister aide's emergence, accuse APC of manipulating process. That's the Abuja Enquirer there. Okay, from there let's go to the Daily Times. Daily Times says tenure elongation precursor for violence in Africa. Buhari is saying this. Okay, that's the Daily Times. Business Day is next, and he says Nigeria's promise fades as the economy stutters. Okay, that's on the business side. National Economy says interest rate hike, SMEs turn to cooperative societies for funding. Raising interest rates will reduce loanable funds for investment, and economists is saying this. All that on the front page of the National Economy. Okay, let's get into some of the papers now. Well, I wonder what stories interest you, and Kemi, well, let me start with some of Masha here.
Well, I'm interested in that lead story about the presidency saying that they're not part of the plot to draft
Jonathan. That's on the Nation newspaper.
It is significant not only for Jonathan, it's also significant for the rumors that have now pervaded the political space. Everybody is saying, I am the anointed one. You know, the election and the campaigns for the APC ticket has taken such a turn of the comedic. You know, if I put it that way, where some people are campaigning, some people are waiting, like baboons waiting for the boons to fall on top of them, but the boons are not coming, and one of the people expected to collect the boon is Jonathan. And the others, who are acting like outliers, saying on the side, hey, Baba will look at me one day and say, hey, this is the one. There's this thing in Nigeria where everybody thinks that, you don't work hard and you get the blessing. As if God Himself is a provider of laziness. It's an indolent God. The God that says you don't work and you receive, and those that don't work, and they will say it is grace. Exactly. It's the grace of God. Grace is sufficient. His grace is sufficient to me, and we work. That's what is going on. So the statement by the presidency saying, "Look, I'm not part of this Jonathan racket and so on," is significant not only for Jonathan, it's significant for others. I also want to mention that there's an editorial today about the punch on the woman and 4 children who were slaughtered.
Yes,
in the southeast as they were traveling. It's a really terrible thing. It shows
very devastating.
Toward turn the whole issue of IPOB and ESN is becoming in this country, and so we are talking about the northeast and the north and banditry and the killings going on there, but we talk of sheer savagery. We are seeing it in the southeast. What they are doing there in the northeast or in the northwest or even the north central. What you are seeing there, mainly racketeering for money. I kidnap you, I take you, if you stand on the way, we kill you, and so on. It used to be that was butchery in the north, where they go to school and kill people and cut people's head and so on. It is less of that now. It is very ironic that we're talking about that in more
in the
soft terms. But the southeast now is now the seat of barbarism. This is not acceptable.
Yeah. The Kemi, with the
borrowing a leaf from Sam's analysis so far, it's also shameful for me because we're talking about the southeast, known for its industry as well as other positives coming from that region. I mean, we're talking about the kidnapping of the prelate of the Methodist Church of Nigeria. No one seems to be exempt.
That's another devastating news, shocking news.
Absolutely,
actually.
It's such a shame, and one wonders. And one sees now the reality of things in the southeast, and it even goes beyond the southeast when you look at the spate of crime all over the country, and one really wonders what is happening. Of course, it's clearing as well that more needs to be done across all quarters. And coming down now to politics, I also found the response from the presidency rather interesting, seeing as days before now there had been talk that the presidency had a hand or could be having a hand now in the emergence of the former president Jonathan, coming in to be some form of consensus candidate. Interesting times ahead. If you look at the flip side too, it's good. The plus for me with the PDP primary of Saturday was that at least, the tensions have somewhat reduced, so all eyes will now be turning to the APC to see how they will fare.
Yes, that is the con. It's the other issue of consensus that there is a con in the consensus.
Well, borrowing a leaf from the security issues in the southeast you mentioned earlier, is quite shocking that the prelate of the Methodist Church, alongside a bishop and his chaplain, were kidnapped.
We even hear some members of his entourage too are in the hospital.
And it's really devastating and it's really shocking, let me say. I hope the security agencies will work. So far, we hear that they are demanding a ransom of about 100 million. These are the challenges we have in our society when it comes to security. And like both of you said, the southeast used to be just a peaceful place where just go.
You can even travel at night.
Do your business and move anywhere.
It's becoming different now.
And then the twist to it, most of the issues that go on there, they say is unknown gunmen. Who are these unknown gunmen that has become a phenomenon now? The IPOB or ESN will say, no, we're not the ones involved in all of these security issues in there. But then, who are the unknown gunmen in the southeast?
They have to come to a situation where they have to adopt the policy of civic coercion, where, you use the individuals, citizens.
The people, indeed.
Yes,
Indeed.
to get these people out,
Indeed.
because they are part of the society.
Yeah, they are.
They should pick them out. Soludo has said that they're coming with some ransom money or some sort of incentives to get these people to identify them. But what we are seeing here is a failure of intelligence. Through and through, a failure of intelligence at the highest level. You cannot allow this kind of thing to go on in a society where people are killing and there's defiance all over the place, and you're allowing it to go on. But it's also a story of the failure of the whole security infrastructure in the country, and also a constitutional problem. Soludo, for instance, is the chief security officer
Of the state.
but that's just a titular position. It's just a titular head of the security, because the whole instruction comes from the center.
federal,
And he has gone to see Kanu, he has done everything, curfew and all of that. But, you know, these are just scratching the surface. It doesn't really have the power to do it. All he's trying to draw up is symbolism. But there's an extent to which you can go with symbolism.
Exactly.
Symbolism cannot save the man on the streets and so on. So.
That's really true.
If I may also even add now, I think we also need to borrow more leaves or compare the security situation in the Northeast. That's far from resolved, obviously. But one common factor for me is that the people hold the key. You know, somehow, and we get to a point, or we've gotten to a point where the people would rather identify with the criminals. They'll rather shield them rather than give valuable information to security agencies. And that is a knot we are yet to crack, and it just might be the key.
It's the intimidation.
For the southeast, it is the fear that has been
intimidation
created.
factor.
Intimidation. Now the point there is, you are told on a certain day everybody should sit at home. The government says, no, everybody should go about their normal business. And then you decide, okay, government said I can go out. And then you go out. And then you are attacked. And government doesn't come to your rescue. What would you do next time? Of course, you will not go out next time.
So who's the government?
So who is the government at that time? So
who's in charge?
It was just like the national chairman of the PDP, Ochayu, when he was making one of his speeches, there was a line he said that the government was sharing its sovereignty with terrorists. You know, I picked that line. I was like, whoa! It was some kind of. It just hit me with the reality of it. You're sharing sovereignty with terrorists, because in a situation where,
I mean, he's saying he's sharing sovereignty with terrorists. He's surrendering sovereignty.
In
to
fact,
terrorists.
it's even worse.
You know, when you go there, you take control.
Some governors,
you come to your. They come to your train. They take your people in motorcycles, and they go miles and miles on motorcycles.
Exactly.
No, they didn't take 2 people, they didn't take 10 people, they took about hundreds of people, and they go about from territory to territory, from bush part to bush part, from village to village.
And no arrests are made. No arrests are made.
There, you do nothing. So it is a surrender of sovereignty.
Gentlemen,
it's just they've not just signed any papers yet.
It's devastating, and it's really troubling. But those are the realities we are faced with right now.
Can I also add, Mike, now that while we also talk about how fickle life can just be, especially here in Nigeria, I mean, the story we've been following about the horrendous number of deaths in Rivers State, as these are noble deeds. Someone is out there, a church, a group is out there to provide food, and all of a sudden, you know, there doesn't seem to be order or structure, and we see how it all fell out, how things just basically fell apart. I mean, those footwear we saw are really graphic. I think those are even the worst images, rather than the pictures of the killings, of the deaths, I should say.
It's very troubling, and the church or whatever organization, well, the intention could be right to say, okay, fine, let's because people have different challenges, you know, let's make room for people to come have some meals, you know, eat and then feel good. It's a good idea. But when you're gathering people, 10, 20, you know, 50, 100, there has to be an arrangement where you have to control the crowd and coordinate people and arrange people. Otherwise, there's going to be chaos. Just like
well,
we've
it
seen in
reminds me
Port Harcourt.
of the line by the Caribbean writer George Lamin. They say, something startles where I thought I was safest. It was just like the play Murder in the Cathedral. You know, you've gone the place where it's supposed to be a place of serenity, a place of salvation.
Exactly.
You know, in the Bible says, go into those who are in Judea, flee into the mountains. And then, they went there, and then you go there, and then you see trouble. Absolutely. You see death. You see food, which is supposed to give you sustenance, but it is that source of sustenance
that's leading you to your end.
It's a source of elimination.
Sad.
So that's what you see. But it's also a picture of Nigerian desperate poverty. That is what you saw there. The picture of Nigerian desperate poverty. It's a picture of a society now where people only live by the day, where people cannot guarantee where their next meals are coming from. Like, oh, there's going to be a lot of food here. I mean, I will collect enough not only for myself, I can feed my children today, and then praise. It's a place where they're supposed to say hallelujah. Instead of saying hallelujah, they are now saying,
oh my God.
Thank you very much. They're saying, oh my God. So that's what's going on. But it's also a picture of Nigerians' lack of organization. We see it everywhere. I'm seeing it in the church. In the church. Nobody wants to arrange anything with discipline and with structure. Just as we say Nigeria needs restructuring, every part of our life needs restructuring. The church cannot even organize itself in a very small enclave like that.
All right. Every aspect of our life needs restructuring. So let's let's begin to sit down and go back to the drawing board to restructure and look at where we have to restructure. All right. Thank you very much for all of your insight into this. Now,